pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you guide us this night. Help us to make good decisions. Help us to make decisions that continue the growth and well-being and making Loretto a good place to live, work, and play. In God's name we ask. Amen.
The minutes of the previous meeting were distributed. Am I having changes or?
Nope. No, sir. I move we approve the minutes as read.
Okay, I'll second.
Roll call.
Roll.
Mayor Turner.
Aye.
Alderman Metheny.
Aye.
Alderman McMaster.
Aye.
Alderman Metheny, do you have anything?
No, I'm good.
Alderman McMaster?
No, sir.
Okay. We'll move on to the department heads. Anybody got anything? Barry, you and Stephen, Jab, I appreciate all the work y'all put in. They had their eyes on.
We met
Where did y'all today?
with David Miller today. He was a representative from ISO, and we had a real good meeting. I think everything's going to work out well. We had a lot more information for him that we needed last time, but we wasn't able to give him, But I think it's really going to help us, and hopefully, help our classification. He said 4 to 6 months we would know something. So, but it seemed like everything went really well. Really pleased with it. These guys worked really hard on everything too, getting everything, just laid out for him. We had it, but you always got to get prepared. So, it takes a little time to get back prepared for him to come and view it and stuff.
I appreciate the work you put in. I know y'all put in some hours lately.
Yeah.
Keith, any update on the pool?
Well, they got the walls poured, and we're looking at the next grant phase. We had talked about doing the slides, so we're going to do some work on that tomorrow. Lori's coming down, and borderline when we get through, compare if we get any, but we'll shoot for it.
How about our sewer? We get that bid.
We get it, it comes in next week.
Any comments from citizens? Okay, none. We'll move on to the business for this evening. First item's approval and second reading of budget amendment for the police department, the governor's highway safety grant. In the amount of $5,000 is 100% grant. I believe that buy some laptops and radar equipment with this. I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Mayor Turner.
Aye.
Alderman McMaster.
Aye.
Alderman Metheny.
Okay, second item is to approve Micah Turner as a volunteer fireman. Barry, you want to?
Yeah, I'll give you a copy of it up there. We had a couple of our firemen that have moved out of the area, and so that's how we come up with vacancies over there. Of course, Micah, he's a very qualified, and he actually moved into our area from St. Joe, which we've always worked great with him. We know him pretty well over there, and he just decided with him moving to Loretto, he would do everybody better to be part of Loretto Fire Department. So we are excited about getting him. I think he'll make an excellent fireman.
Is there a conflict? Do I need to abstain from this one? This is my brother.
Is your brother?
Yes.
It's not a compensated position, it's a volunteer position, correct? Then I don't think there's a conflict.
Well, I'll make a motion that we approve Mike Turner as volunteer fireman.
I would say, looking at his training and his experience down there, it's conflict or no conflict, he'd be a good one to add to it. So I'll second Ray's motion.
Mayor Turner,
Aye.
Alderman McMaster,
Aye.
Alderman Bed.
Aye. All right, next item is to amend the alcoholic beverages other than beer ordinance, Title 8, Chapter 2, to be compliant with state law, first reading. Keith, can you give us a summary?
What it is, when they, legislature passed to allow wine in the grocery stores, there were some laws that changed actually in the alcoholic liquor license law. And the one we're looking at is a residency law. You have to be a resident of the state of Tennessee. Our states, you have to be a resident of Loretto. So it basically just changed the residency law in the liquor license. Of course, if wine and groceries.
Updating our law to
we're
comply with the states.
Exactly. And, of course, on referendum for wine, if it passes, then we'll have to come back and, won't be this, but we'll have to pass an ordinance on the wine in grocery stores.
Will that be
That's
a new
different.
ordinance or is that an
It'll be an
amendment to the
ordinance.
current?
It'll still go in this same, but it'll be, actually will amend it. I mean, you'll just add what goes with it.
I make a motion that we accept this.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Also, the information MTS had provided us, so.
Mayor Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Method,
Aye.
Alderman McMaster,
Aye.
Okay, next item is approve a contract with Local Geography and Blake Staggs to map our utility system. Blake's here with us this evening. Can you just give us a brief overview of what you're proposing?
Messed up with what?
That's fine. Sure.
Alright. Okay. Apparently a lot of you here know me, and one of you work with me. My name is Blake Staggs. Most of you know me from Lawrenceburg Utility System. I'm their GIS coordinator, currently full-time. I'm a graduate of University of North Alabama, like Jesse, in the GIS department. I've got about 8 years of experience now. I'm also subcontracting with Staking Services out of Athens, Alabama, Griggs and Maloney out of Chevrolet, and I've also got experience with Lauderdale County EMS. But what I'm proposing for here in Loretto is basically doing a GIS project for your gas, water, and sewer systems, getting geo-reference locations and tying that to your existing infrastructure. And what that allows is for extra value in knowing where your assets are located. Meter readers can find stuff faster. Emergency locates can be done in a quick manner, and that could involve saving money by knowing where valves to shut off water leaks are faster, and it could involve saving lives by knowing where gas valves are at and cutting those off faster. That's it's always a critical concern. In the office, you can do quicker estimates. With your mapping system, you can measure distances if it's done in a survey grade format, which I'm proposing. You'd have centimeter grade accuracy on all your assets, gas, water meters, valves, whatnot. But further than location, and that's the thing, when a lot of people talk about mapping, they just think about, a map, Google Earth, just locations. But GIS is more than that. It's about combining all your systems, your CIS system, your accounting system, all your infrastructure, all your warehouse material systems into one easy to use graphical format. Everybody can log on to a computer and use Google Earth, Google Maps now. Not everybody can go through a database, query it, look for certain things in there. Some people struggle with that, but they can click on a meter, see what type it is, or click on a tap and see what's there underneath the ground. So that is in a nutshell what I'm proposing for you guys. It'll help you out with being more efficient. It'll make your crews have a higher knowledge of their system. And speaking from experience, it's transcended the way we do business, or way OUS does business. Now, somebody who hires in has just as much functional knowledge of their system as somebody that's been there 30 or 40 years. It's actually amazing. And I hope to do the same for your system. And at a very affordable price, I might add. I'm just starting out with my consultant firm, and I love this area, and I want to bring the benefits of GIS to you guys at a very very affordable price to get me started and to get y'all started in the same breath. Is there any questions?
Would we be able to attach data to like each meter, age of meter, different things like that, so we could query that too?
That's exactly what GIS will bring to you. When we set that up, we'll take a sample of what that meter is, and at the end of that, if you want to, if say in the future, I'm not aware of your AMI status, if y'all are looking at that, drive-by meters, but say for example, when you get to that phase, that company is going to ask you how many, this type of meters, how many census SR2s you have, how many Elster meters, how many Badger meters do you have. With GIS, you can quickly query that, do a few commands, and you have, say, 3,000 census SR2 meters, 2,000 Badger meters. And then you have the age of those when you install them and whatnot. So all those attributes will be there.
What would be the time frame to complete?
Well, since you have a relatively small system, so to speak, I feel if I start this in early summer, if I start spring, I think 2 months tops.
Would you be working in the evenings or?
I'd be working in the evenings and on the weekends. And I've actually, I've just recently brought somebody in with the fold, a local, so that'll help that. Logan Dooley. She's also works at the highway department. We're going to specialize in helping out small utilities and small highway departments that can't afford these big contracts from GIS companies. So we want to bring it to everybody. And because at the end of the day, I don't always like using that term at the end of the day, but it sounds like a sales pitch. But when you have a better knowledge of your system, that helps everybody. It helps the guys in the fire department by knowing exactly where things are at, where your gas valves are at, where your water system's at, where your water hydrants are at exactly. It helps your guys in EMS knowing where everything. It helps everybody. You can't overvalue situational awareness when you can look at that map and know everything that's there. And it's a safety thing. It's a knowledge. It's a power thing. So we want to bring that to the communities that couldn't afford to go to a company out of Nashville or Huntsville and have that done. And we believe we can have a niche market.
Now, like on the sewer system, not only would we have coordinates, would we have elevation?
You would have elevation on the top of the meter. I would measure to the invert, so you could, if you wanted to at a later date, or myself, we could do essentially a three-dimensional model of your sewer system. So,
With like the manholes, places like that?
yeah, we do a manhole cover, and we do center of manhole, and then we take a measuring rod and we'd measure to the bottom of the invert, so you'd have the depth of the manhole as well as the top elevation.
Steve,
that-
if you got any questions?
It sounds good to me too. I've been intrigued with it for several months,
Okay.
with the GIS process and what it could mean just down the road. Wish we'd done it 20 years ago.
You know, everybody that does it says that, and not just trying to push this forward, but everybody says that. And to be honest, we had a little problem to beginning with some of the guys, get a little buy-in of paper maps good enough, but usually there's something that happens that causes people to rely on it like they do at AUS. They rely on their mapping system constantly. It took a tragedy up in Summertown to really nail it down why this is so important, but now they can't live without the maps.
Will this be something that you have to have a specific device to access this map, or
Software.
Software, laptops, just basically any Windows-based laptop will suffice to have, and we can put that in trucks. We could also do something, since I can't say I developed it, but me and my co-worker and co-boss supervisor Mike Meek kind of work to develop. Since Garmin's are basically open source, we can also put that data into a Garmin, so as their meter readers or fire department, as they're driving down, they can see what's on your infrastructure, your valves, your meters, your fire hydrants as you're driving down the road. And that gives you a really good, that really helps with meter readers that are especially new, that they don't have to worry about learning the system. They can see it as they're driving. And it's a safety thing, so you don't have to look at your laptop. But you can have your laptop there for for fine or granular level details, and you use your Garmin for just driving and locating.
Security wise, is this be protected?
We can encrypt it. What I propose is most of the data that will be in this will be public. I mean, we'll put parcel lines and whatnot in there, so your property data could be in there. Usually the most personal data you have would be what the meter, who owns the meter. And it's usually it's the same, not all the time, but the same owner as the property owner. But if you feel like who has service at that house needs to be protected, we can do that. But we don't advise putting any, social security numbers or anything like that. Just name and address, and so if it was lost, that would be the only thing that would be compromised.
On their homeland security, they cool with it being
They are.
open to the public?
They are. They actually are.
That's public knowledge anyway, if you just look.
It is public knowledge, and your access points for your security, for your utilities, are like your water meters. We actually got into this at LUS. Your water infrastructure, if somebody wanted to do, of course you have your head unit, your treatment plant, but your point of entries could be a water meter. So if somebody was wanting to compromise your system, they rent a house, they got a water meter, they have a port for so they really wouldn't have to know your system to compromise it. So that's kind of how we look at that. But that is a good question, and that is something that when you start talking about fine level detail, it is something that needs to be addressed. And for that reason, we limit what customer information goes out there primarily.
Is that something that you have to do an opt-in, opt-out?
As far as,
Far as residences saying whether that information is published or not? Or is it already just so everywhere?
everything's gonna, it's not like we're gonna put it online for everybody to see either.
Well, but
But you can,
it's effectively there.
you can go to Tennessee property data and
Yeah.
pull up any of the information I think he's talking about would be
Yeah.
listed.
Yeah.
So it's all
Yeah.
public information anyway, as long as we don't add a lot of stuff to it.
Right.
Yeah.
We don't have any, there's no,
it's there. I mean, it belongs to you all. It's just a matter of locating it very accurately. I mean, there are people in the city who have that knowledge, but they generally carry it in their head, and the idea, as he says, is to make that readily available, so that if the fire department has to find a gas valve to turn off the gas, they can find it on the Garmin, and I'm sure that information will be shared with, the safety personnel, police and fire. So, no, there's no inherent right of privacy in any of that.
And to further that note, the electric system is already, we have that information as well. So.
yeah.
Anything else, Blake?
No.
Is this a web-based program?
It can be. What I'm proposing currently would be laptop or PC based, but if you would like to explore that option, it is available.
Yeah, that's where you get into a few more of those issues. But
Yes.
if it's just,
Also, is it a database to where I can log events or issues, and then I can go back and trend that or do an analysis on that to determine weaker sections of line or trouble spots?
Yes, once we map out your system, we'll come and talk to you guys about what type of layers, whether you want to do a repair layer, addition layers, and then you could actually put that information in there and kind of keep a log of it. And like foremans at LUS would do, they would look at it at the end of the year, where did we repair, where are all of our full circle clamps or vice versa, and then you can make analysis based on that at the end of the year or monthly or however you'd like to do it. The goal is to put the power in your hands to allow you to really do asset management as you go.
Sure. So then it also be printable.
Yeah, oh yeah, definitely. And that information will not only be in a graphic form, it will be reside in a geo database and you can print that off to CSVs, XMLs, anything you'd like to.
Okay. You ready to take a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Roll call.
Mayor Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Mathews,
Aye.
Alderman McMaster.
Aye.
Anything else that needs to come before this board? Hearing none, I'll entertain the motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Second.